Thanks, guys, for joining us. I would like to say to young Yoruba who are watching us from Facebook, kindly just, if it is possible, to go and log into your YouTube channel so that you can follow us. Because Igbo, I received information that Igbo are planning to flag us seriously and severely via Facebook. So if it is possible for you to join us, to be very impressive. So you join us on YouTube. We are live there on YouTube for those of you who are on Facebook. Please help me to spread this message to young Yoruba so that they can join us on YouTube. And then you kindly love and like and subscribe as well. Day 2 of our campaign, which we have titled Sexual Politics. We had our first day yesterday. And yesterday, the Igbo people reacted very aggressively and very, very aggressively again to our first day of campaign. They have been able to pass across their reactions. Immediately I finished yesterday, they went online. And then we've been able to track the guy who went online. His name is Emmanuel Chibuzo. We've seen some of the things he exposed before. I think it's very close to Femi Fani-Kayode. So he has made truth to Igbo. They can boast. They can't fight war. They've never fought one single war except Biafra. And simply based on economic blockade, we defeated them. When the stupid idiots attacked Benin, after the attack, then went straight to Warren, Yoruba land proper. We defeated them through a simple policy, economic blockade. And it is the same policy we will use to get the presidency in 2023. And it is the same policy we will use to take Yoruba out of Nigeria. In case you don't know, guys, economic blockade was used to defeat Hitler. Some of you may not know. And this guy went online yesterday, Emmanuel Chibuzo. I think it's very close to Femi Fani-Kayode. He confirmed in his Facebook Live video that Igbo are criminals. He said that very clearly. he asserted that there's nowhere Igbo people go to that they will not survive. But he added, but says that they are not always clean. So they are common criminals, they are not intelligent. That is why you will see an Igbo man will be willing to take drug to Saudi Arabia where they are going to kill the people who have been arrested for drug trafficking because of their lack of human intellect. That's why they will take drug to Saudi Arabia. He confirmed in that video, he said that Igbo women are the best in the world. Then to show the world that Igbo women are truly the best in the world, he presented his girlfriend or his wife. And that woman shows how irresponsible the Igbo women are. Her behavior shows no decency and manner at all. She was showing her ass for everybody to see. The guy was turning this lady all around. And we've been told that they're going to flag us heavily today. And he said something very stupid, man. He said that it is their human rights to marry anybody, any woman they so choose to. And I will have a bad news for you. You will not be able to marry Yoruba women any longer. Believe you me. Whatever it is that we set out to do, we're very determined. We will shame any Yoruba woman who continue to obnob with Igbo men. We will shame them. So we're bringing this to an end. And let me just add this. What we do as a movement, what we do as individual members of YYF has to do with the age of the Aquarius. In this age of Aquarius, there is growing nationalism. That's why you see President Trump thinking American first. That's why you see nationalist parties winning elections in Brazil, in Ireland, in France, even in Germany. You see nationalist movements growing. In the age of Aquarium, there will be war. And I'm sure you believe me, there will be war in Nigeria, and we will defeat it. And to the stupid Yoruba Libra saying that we cannot fight two wars at the same time, saying that we should fight either Fulani first or Igbo first before we go for the others. Israel defeated 7 different nations under 7 days. We're not stupid when we started calling for the support of the United States of America. The United States of America is the #1 largest exporters of weapons. Manufacturers of weapons, they do not manufacture weapons to showcase them. They want to sell. The second exporters of weapons in the world is the English. They are the one backing Fulani. The English are actually corrupt. They are stealing the Yoruba wealth. They control the Yoruba crude oil in Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, and Ishekiri. The English control the Yoruba financial and capital markets. The English control our ports in Yoruba land. The English have already bought our stock markets. Lagos Stock Exchange has been purchased. It was sold by Sanusi Lamido Sanusi to the London Stock Exchange Group. The English are stealing our wealth. You don't see their face. You see Fulani. This is called neo-colonialism. Gone are the days when the English will send in English colonial officers who are always inferior, illiterate, and idiot people. Nobody sent out their best minds to go and work in other countries, no, except the stupid Yoruba nation. The best of our doctors are in North America. The best of our engineers are outside Yoruba land. The best of our nurses are outside Yoruba land. The best of our teachers are outside Yoruba land. We're foolish people. Believe me, that's why I said that Yoruba land is an illiterate society. So our campaign against Yoruba women marrying Igbo men is deliberate. When we set out to do something as a movement, we're conscious of the fact that we now speak for the Yoruba nation. We're conscious of the fact that we are now the people in power. We must implement policy that will safeguard, protect the interests and welfare of our descendants. For far so long, Yoruba men do not think about their descendants. But this is one thing I've learned from the Caucasian in America and from the English in the United Kingdom. They think about the next generation. And we discover one fundamental reason why there is no cohesion, why we do not practice self-preservation in Yoruba land is intermarriages. It's a deliberate policy of the Igbo to suppress and subjugate the Yoruba nation. And I will tell you this. But before I go on, so the video made by Emmanuel Chibuzo yesterday, it actually depicted how criminally minded you are, Igbo, and how irresponsible your women are. And the research that we've given out yesterday support the notion that you are useless Igbo men because your wife always divorced you. You are useless Igbo men because you have the highest rate of household headed by women in Nigeria. So you see, our research findings are always valid because as a movement, we speak the truth. Now, let me take you a little back to how the behavior of the Igbos are. When you challenge them, and we're not just going to challenge them, we're going to decimate them in Yoruba land. If you don't leave, you are going to be decimated. We have had enough of your shenanigans. We have had enough of your criminal activities across Yoruba land. It is you, Igbo, men in South Africa. They are killing you there. Yesterday, in that video made by Chibuzo Emmanuel, he said that it is their fundamental human right to marry any woman they chose to marry. I have a report of what you do to South African women. Majority of the South African women are single mothers today. You rape them. You deliberately impregnated them because you agreed in your meeting in Enugu to spread your seed. I have information about your meeting in Enugu and I'm going to disclose it today. We have reports of South African women living in Ireland always cursing you, Igbo men. So we said to the Yoruba women, you will jeopardize the future of your children you have with Igbo men. In Yoruba land, they will never be recognized. In Igbo men, they will become outcasts. So it is your choice. If you choose to undermine and jeopardize the future of your children to the Yoruba women. And we know how many of you are irresponsible, cheap, and useless. Because if you are not useless, the moment you see a man who speaks Igbo, you know that you are getting involved with a foreign person. Somebody who has not the same culture, norms, and value system as yourself. So you should know the implication of your decision. But if you now tend to pretend that you don't know that you have married Emmanuel Chibuzo, you think your son or your daughter will be styled with a Yoruba surname, you must be foolish. But let us leave that. Let me show you the attitude of the Igbo. As a movement, we appointed a new vice president in view of the allegation of terrorism that happens against me. Because when we needed to make a decisive statement to the public, because I had to step down as the president of the Young Yoruba for Freedom, our former vice president, he couldn't step up into my shoe. So we made and appointed a new man to help us to handle this movement, to help me run this think tank for the Yoruba nation as we are being addressed now. So we appointed Deji, and he stepped into that big shoe to help us. Many of you give credit to me, you call me and praise me. Look, I'm above what you think I am now. I work with a theme. Gone are the days when I have to do the research alone, when I have to write the articles alone, when I have to edit this alone, when I have to do the video alone, when I have to do everything. I have responsible, decent, intelligent, precocious young men and women working with me. We're a team. You just give me the credit because you see my public face. I took up that responsibility in 2017 to become the public face for the demand of the Yoruba nation, and I have not failed. We are not going to fail. So did he step into this big shoe? He had a meeting in Texas, and he was assaulted by the Igbo. So what led to the assault was because he maintained that the Igbo are the number one enemy of the Yoruba nation, not Fulani. You have to be clear. Then he was assaulted by this Igbo, and he did not disappoint. The Igbo have always been saying that the Yoruba people are cowards. He defended himself honorably. He contacted the police, and the police came to the scene. One of the Igbo who assaulted him was arrested. But there's something that happened. Aside the fact that the police checked the record of this Igbo man, he is a convicted criminal. He has just been released from prison a few days earlier. So the police arrested him and took him back to prison. But every single Yoruba that witnessed this assault did not support AG. I told you that Yoruba is an illiterate society. We lack self-preservation. And yesterday we spoke about how intermarriages is destroying the fabric of our society. We did not conclude that research. The research was done and published by a university in America. That the Hausa Fulani are strong, progressive, determined, because they have reduced intermarriages. And that same research says that the Yoruba nation lacks self-preservation. They antagonize themselves because they have higher rates of intermarriages. So we take this thing very serious. Intermarriages is destroying the Yoruba nation, and we are warning our Yoruba women very clearly. It will discriminate against your children. They will not have the same rights and privileges as a full-blooded Yoruba citizen if you continue to hobnob with irresponsible, criminally minded Igbo. So after the assault, the Igbo in America realized that they will not waver. He continued propagating the message of the young Yoruba for freedom. We speak for Yoruba nation now. They, along with some stupid, horrible Yoruba people, reported Deji to the FBI. It was about the same time that the Scotland Yard was investigating me for terrorism. So FBI went to Deji's house, and we're very lucky, we're very fortunate that he had a very strong woman, a young Yoruba woman who embraces Yoruba nationality. I'm very grateful to that woman. If not for her, we won't have it so good that we have been able to achieve. So FBI investigated DG and they found nothing on it. That was it. But the Igbo did not give up. They're conscious of the fact that this movement is growing, the awareness is growing, Yoruba nationalism is growing. They don't want the Yoruba nation to be free. The Igbo are our number one enemy. And those of you who are liberal, who are illiterate, horrible people, you just talk nonsense about Hausa Fulani people, the same people that Igbo have always been voting for. We've had 11 federal elections. Igbo voted for Hausa Fulani 9 times. So you blame Hausa Fulani that Hausa Fulani are your problem. Take the presidency away from the Hausa Fulani, Yoruba nation will be fine. You need to regulate the mass migration of the Igbo, Yoruba nation will be fine. So after the assault failed, they reported him to the FBI. It fails, folks, they offer him money. A check was issued to him just 2 weeks ago. So they contacted the pastor of his church. He goes to Seventh-day Adventist Church in Texas. They contacted this useless Yoruba pastor. I use the word, I use colorful language. I don't use inflammatory language. Some people might want to say that. So they issued a check to bribe him. And then he went to the meeting. At the meeting, he met the leaders of the church. That was the time we were preparing for our research work on sexual politics. So the elders of the church, particularly the Yoruba pastors, offered Deji the money, and Deji was confused as to who wrote the check. And he said that, was this check given to him by the Igbo? They said no. The check was from the anonymous. The name was not given. So at that meeting, they compelled and tried to instill fear in Deji to back down from protecting the future of his descendants. It is surprising that the people that were putting pressure on him were Yoruba people. That's why we keep saying to you that Yoruba land is an illiterate society. It's a lot of shit liver that we need to get rid of for us to move on as a people. It was tense, folks, but I might not really go into detail. It was tense. It took the check because they denied the money was coming from the Igbo. And I said to him, you've done well. The Igbo have denied the check. Now you take it. And then the pressure did not stop. There is a guy named Obona who was going to the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Texas, along with others. Folks, kindly help us to remove Igbo who are making statements here. Along with the others, started putting pressure on Deji. First, they targeted his parent in Nigeria. The parent was scared. And then this Yoruba pastor says to Deji, Igbo are going to kill you if you don't back down. And the same pastor says to Deji that organized violence is ungodly. And this same horrible Yoruba pastor supported that the Igbo has the right to kill Deji. But I'm very grateful to Deji's beautiful wife. We're very fortunate in Yoruba, and I tell you, we have beautiful women who stood the test of time with their men. They have to be praised. They have to be praised. I don't have to praise her. She's young, extremely brilliant, extremely articulate. Then after the intervention from the Deji's parent came, you know, the mother, her mom was always very afraid. They put pressure on Deji to back down. Deji said, no, this is not going to be. Then they contacted the wife. One of the first things they said to the wife was that politics is deadly, that they should back down, otherwise people are going to kill him. The wife said that majority of politicians in America are Christians. So why should the husband back down from politics? After all, he's protecting the interests of his children. What he's doing is legitimate. He's fighting for self-preservation of the civilization of the Yoruba people. They did a lot of horrible things, believe you me. Threats were made. And as a leader, I have to protect the people who are working for me. And I spoke to the wife. I apologized for the pressure, for the trouble we brought upon her. But I pleaded with her to support us so that we can change the course of history. And I'm glad that she's with us. This is some of the things that we face. We have so many young Yoruba that are now focused. They have been reorientated to think Yoruba first. I've said this to tell our women that the Igbo are horrible people. It's not a joke. They lack the human capital to grow the economy of their space. They indulge in crime all across the world. That is why they continue to reject a return to regional government. That is why they use propaganda they call Biafra agitation. They don't want Nigeria to break. They don't want Nigeria to go back to regional government. They want the current system, the 36-state structure, shit system that is destroying Yoruba land. If we do not deal with the Igbo, we're not starting at all. Fulani knows the game has changed. That come 2023, the majority Yoruba population of Nigeria, who are the Caucasian of Nigeria, who are the English of Nigeria, because we have two things that is going for us, the population and the economic power. We're going to govern that country and we're not going to zone anything. But there is a proviso, or you call it a condition. If the Igbo don't want us to rule over them, then they can have their own Igbo nation. If the Hausa Fulani don't want the Yoruba to rule over them, then they can have their own Hausa Fulani nation and we go out of Nigeria. But they do not have the luxury any longer to say that the Yoruba will not rule them and to say that Nigeria will not break. They will have one option. We rule them in Nigeria or Nigeria break up. These are some of the things we face as a people. That Emmanuel Chibuzo, who is related and close to Femi Fani Kayode, made a threat on my life. Look, I think I'm above the stage. The police knows that I've told them I'm a VIP. I need a police protection. They have been refusing for a long time. I think they have changed their mind now because they are protecting me. But I've been asked not to say more than that. So, Igbo, we see you as number one enemy. If we do not reduce you in Yoruba land, we will never be great. We will never attain our potential of becoming a first-class nation. So to Yoruba women, I've spoken about Deji's beautiful wife, and I know because I've spoken about her, the Igbo will try all their possible best to continue to put pressure on her. The police are well informed about this. But it is this type of women that should be praised. It is this type of women that should be respected. It is this type of women that should be a role model to our women. A woman who was approached and threatened. Children were threatened. And she remains steadfast. Believe you me, folks, I will help. You will have to say a big thank you to Deji's wife if you get to speak to Deji. But we're not backing down. And Israeli Jews, they will never allow a child whose mother is an Israeli Jew and father is an Arab to become the prime minister of Israel. It will never happen. An Israeli woman who marries an Arab man and they have a child, such a child will never become the prime minister of the state of Israel. If you look at Saudi Arabia, they have two major denominations of Islam, Shia and Sunni. The official form of Islam in Saudi Arabia is Sunni. Saudi Arabia citizen will never allow a child whose mother is Sunni and father is a Shia to become the king of Saudi Arabia. It will never happen. The king of Saudi Arabia will remain a full-blooded Sunni Saudi Arabian citizen. You know what happened to Meghan Markle, who married Prince Harry? In spite of the fact that her father is white, her mom is an African American. The press in England chase her away from England. They don't like her because she's got a mixed blood. It is the truth. Now, some of you will say that is racism. It is not. It is self-preservation. If you think that is racism, then you have a child. Don't feed that child. Go and feed another child. If you can do that, then you are not racist. To some of you whose rant, particularly Yoruba Libra, they say humanity first. I have my children in England. They were not recognized as British for 7 good years. Yet I have a son who was sick then. It is what their law says. If the father and the mother do not have paper, yet the children are nothing. You shout humanity first. What stops us from making Yoruba land great so that we will not come to live in England? People who have built their own space should be praised. don't have right to rush into other people's space and you want to claim humanity first. In the United States of America, since the end of the Civil War, American Civil War, no descendant of African slave has been so elected president of the United States. It's not going to happen. Yeah. How come the next election in November will be President Trump, a Caucasian, and Mr. Joe Biden, another Caucasian? Why is it that the African American are not shouting, we want zoning? Right? In the United States of America, a Muslim will never be elected president of the United States. In United Kingdom, a black will never be king or queen of England. A Muslim will never be king or queen of England. You can say whatever it is that you like. All of these things comes under self-preservation. So Yoruba women who are married to Igbo men, you shall be discriminated in Yoruba land. There is no, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You're going to face discrimination. So it is for you to think long and hard about the kind of future you want for your child. I have on good authority that in the Ondo State Assembly, there are 6 half Yoruba, half Igbo parliamentarian in Ondo State. I'm from Ondo State. I'm an Akoko Yoruba. 6 half Yoruba, half Igbo. Have you ever seen any half Yoruba, half Igbo in the government in Igbo land? No, they don't. They will not accept such because they protect their own space from foreigners. I have lived in England for well over a decade. Every terrorist attack occurred with the connivance of foreigners, even though who were born in England. I have never seen an Englishman as a terrorist to destroy England. No, it's always foreigners. So if you are married to an Igbo man, your child is not a Yoruba man. I told you yesterday where this is coming from the Bible, that a child takes his nationality from the father. Before I go to talk about the immigrant Igbo and how they choose sexual politics, let me tell you something. And the entire Igbo nation, they know this, except some few Yoruba, and particularly the stupid, crazy, do-nothing Yoruba leaders who are predominantly PDP supporters. Once in a year, in Enugu, we do research a lot. We know a lot about Igbo. The Igbo people meet to discuss how to dominate and control the Yoruba nation and our people. They have 5 strategies to suppress the Yoruba nation. You will be shocked about these strategies. The conservative politicians, they know about this. When we were researching into sexual politics, they gave this information to us. There's so much information in our custody, we just release them gradually. So you did release that genetic variations yesterday. We released the data on household headed by women. We released the data on divorce. Folks, Igbo are your #1 criminal. We are going to decimate these people in Yoruba, believe you me. If you have enough information about what the desire of the Igbo for Yoruba nation is, you will kill a lot of Igbo. We are just controlling our emotion. These guys are not culture. These guys are animals, people who eat human beings. These guys are a horrible set of people created by God. They look like monkeys. They are men. They are just criminals. They cannot grow the economic of their space. They cannot do anything other than crime. They cannot live in an organized society. We will reduce the population of Igbo in Yoruba land. We know the strategies we are going to use. We know the reactions of the Igbo. By the time we stage the first attack on you, which we are already staging already, you will shout to the international community. The second attempt we made on your life, you will start pressing the Yoruba nation. The third attempt, you will leave by force. We know who you are. You are horrible people. So when they meet every year on how to dominate and control the Yoruba nation, they use 5 strategies. Number 1 is to control the trading and services economy throughout Yoruba land. That's why they have taken over all the markets from our women. Our women sell streets, foodstuffs, and other things. Igbo use crime to garner fund and chase our women out of this business. They go and rob our banks and our offices. Use the proceeds of this crime to start food business. They'll be selling rice. They'll be selling beans. They'll be selling gari. They'll be selling elubo. Things that Yoruba women are the people in charge. So if a Congo of rice is 50 naira, people will sell it for 10 naira because the money they get to open the business was stolen money. So that 10 naira is a profit for them. But a Yoruba woman will have to go to bank to get loan to start a business. How do you expect her to sell a Congo of rice for 10 naira? But the Igbo can do that. So when they meet in Enugu, they know what I'm saying is a new information to you. We do know this. We speak nothing but the truth. One of the strategies is to control the Yoruba service sector, the trading sector. Spare part market, they control it. Building material, they control it. Electronics, they control it. They use proceeds of crime. I told you about a story of a Yoruba man, Iwo Road. He was selling spare parts and building materials. The Igbo took all the shops from all the Yoruba that were doing this. This man refused to let go of his shop. He was assassinated by the Igbo. Ibadan, Iwo Road. The story was all over the news. He was killed because we run a unitary system. That is why these criminals have had unrestricted access to Yoruba land. That's what they do. We were given information from a stalwart of APC Yoruba who told us that after the end of this June 12 struggle in 1999, the Igbo came back to Yoruba land. All the allocation they collected from Abuja, which are actually Yoruba money, their governors will collect this allocation and go and use it to buy shit, nonsense from China and bring it into the container and flood Yoruba land with dumping goods. The money from the allocation, that's why their state is horrible. That's why they don't have any public services. That's why they do crime. Their governors are horrible people. They take allocation from Abuja, send the money to China to go and bring shit goods to Yoruba land. They took over the services business across Yoruba land. So our women have no jobs. That is the number 1 strategies they use to control the Yoruba economy. Number 2 strategies to dominate the Yoruba is to engage in Igbo-Yoruba intermarriage. That's what they do. They're sleeping with a lot of our women. They believe that if they continue to sleep with our women, they will use our women to destroy our civilization. They will use Yoruba women to destroy Yoruba land. That is why a lady called Adetutu Balogun, Olori Buruku obìnrin, 50 years old. She just turned 50 years old 2 weeks ago. Oloshi. Àwọn ọmọ Igbo ti básùn. Orí burúkú ti bá. Òṣì ló máa ń kọ́ ń pa Yorùbá. That is why that Susan Adekoka of Rant HQ, she's a terrible lady. Terrible lady. I've met her before, she can't deny it. I used to buy food at Lekki Chicken. You know, I'm a bachelor. And we met, we spoke at length. That was when she forced me to join that rant HQ. She's useless. Àwọn ọmọ Igbo ti basun basun basun. That's why they use her against Yoruba in that blog. Don't she? They are always antagonizing Yoruba. So they decided second strategy they use is to engage in Igbo Yoruba intermarriage. And we're saying to Yoruba women, you marry an Igbo man, you fucked up your life. Believe it. Your life is short. You will live in fear for the rest of your life. Your children are going to be discriminated against because these people are set to destroy our civilization. And I've told about a story. My great-grandfather used to be Balogun of Remo land. He was the military head of 33 towns. 33 towns. If my great-grandfather had been irresponsible, do you think I would be able to call myself a Yoruba man today? My grandfather was a king of Okakoko. He reigned for over 45 years. If he had been irresponsible, will I have a homeland to call Yoruba land today? It was my father's generation that became useless. That is why my generation is speaking out against these injustices against the Yoruba nation. Igbo are deliberately getting married to our women to suppress us, to subjugate us, to destroy our civilization. That was why that research we spoke about yesterday says that Awusa Fulani are strong because they have reduced intermarriage. So when their leader sits to meet, they are always Awusa Fulani people. But in Yoruba land, the moment you sit down, this one is half Igbo. He is married to an Igbo woman. So when you are talking about the Igbo criminality in Yoruba land, he said that, oh, let us think about humanity first, because intermarriages have destroyed us. Go to our prisons in Yoruba land. We have 28 prisons. Go there. Go to prison in Ekiti State. The majority of the prisoners there are Igbo. Go to prison in Kogi State, Kaba area. The majority of the people there are Igbo. These are not Igbo land. Go to prisons in Oyo State. It is Igbo people that are there. These guys are criminals. Go to prison in Osun State. We have done the research a long time ago. And we did that research, it was very difficult. Because the prison officials won't give us this figure. We have to go through newspaper cuttings of over 10 years to look at the report of armed robbery. And we found out that Igbo are the majority in our prisons in Yoruba land. And Yoruba women open their legs for these fucking up criminals who want to destroy our civilization. So that is the second strategy to use to dominate us. So we know this very well. If you have an Igbo child, we're going to discriminate against him. Here in England, if you are Yoruba, your tuition fees is different from English. Everything is different. We face discrimination because it's not our space. So we have to make our space great so that we do not have to face discrimination. So because we now know that Igbo people engage in Igbo Yoruba intermarriages to dominate us, to suppress us, we will be challenging them in 2023. We are going to look for all Yoruba who have Igbo fathers. We will send them back to their shithell hole of erosion rabbit homeland to go and contest for their governorship. That's what we're going to canvass for. All these horrible Yoruba who are on social media, who are half Igbo, go back to Igbo land. Go back to your father's land. Go and contest for election there, horrible souls that you are. Because your mother is Yoruba, you think you can have the same rights and privileges as a full-blooded Yoruba? When Igbo don't want the best of our interests. So we should fold our hands as we allow the future of my son, of my daughter to be destroyed. You tell me about humanity first. Why was Tinubu driving Kabu Kabu in America when his age mates at that time who were Caucasians were living large? Why was Adenuga driving cab in America when his peers who were Caucasians were not driving cars? Why was Fayemi, who is your governor of Ekiti today, why was he driving car in England when his peers who were English were not doing that? It is because these are not their respective homeland. So if your child has an Igbo father, it will amount to nothing in Yoruba land. So we are going to tear all these horrible half Yoruba, half Igbo, whose fathers are Igbo. We are going to chase you out of Yoruba land to go and contest for election in Igbo land. And let us see how the Igbo will treat you. Let us see how the Igbo will treat you. In Ondo State, we have 6 half Igbo who are in our parliament in Ondo State. Can you ever get that in Igbo land? There are so many Yoruba whose mother are Yoruba, but father Igbo. Why are they not allowed to become anything in their space in Igbo? After all, their father are Igbo. But they won't allow that. But they want me to jeopardize the future of my son. They want me to jeopardize the future of my daughter. They want me to jeopardize the future of my niece and nephew, right? We will not. We're going to protect the interests of the Yoruba people first and foremost. So that is what they do. Number 3 strategies they use. They meet in Enugu to plan this domination. I said to people who are so agitated, we can shut down Igbo businesses. It's very easy. You know, we're economists, we're politicians, we're ruthless. It's very easy. We just lock them up. They will shout to international community. All these 1 million boys will deal with them. The Igbo will be boastful. There are so many Yoruba who lives in London. We live in deprived community. But you will never see this Yoruba challenging the English. In spite of the fact that the English colonized us for 100 years, we have moved on from there. We just want to develop Yoruba land. Igbo will live in Yoruba land and will be challenging us, dehumanizing our women. We're going to talk about that because we're talking about sexual politics. So the 3rd strategies they use the intermarriage alliance to infiltrate the seat of leadership in Yoruba land. That's why that stupid Yinka Odumakin will be talking shit. We have given his wife, his Igbo wife, we've given her a real privilege that she can never enjoy in Igbo land. She speaks very freely. She's always antagonizing the government. She's always in public, talking shit sometimes. But sometimes she talks very responsibly anyway. But her husband is horrible, man. He doesn't think about the interests of the Yoruba. Before he can make a pronouncement about Igbo criminalities, about the refusal of the Igbo to vote for Yoruba, he will have to think about his wife's feelings. In such a way, we cannot move on. We cannot move on. So that's why we're encouraging Yoruba women. You would jeopardize the future of your children if you marry Igbo men. So they use this intermarriage to infiltrate into the leadership of the Yoruba nation. Iba Gani Adam has been alleged to have incorporated Igbo into the OPC. I have the recordings, but we've not decided to play it. We've not decided to raise issue around it. As a matter of fact, the guy who sent all of this to me, I said, look, I'm not interested in this for now. He has been accused of bringing in Igbo people into the OPC. He has been alleged to have a dungeon where the owner of the land in, I think, Ikorodu area have been arrested and tortured. But I said to people who sent these messages to me, I need to find out. I need to find out. They give me a lot of valid information. So the Igbo people are using the alliance of intermarriage to infiltrate into the leadership of the Yoruba so that they can suppress us, so that they can undermine us. That's why you see that Bodejod will speak from both of his mouths. But Bodejod can say to you today that Tinubu is crazy, but the next day he will be at Bodilon drinking big stout with Tinubu. That is the style of politics. That's why you see Femi Fani-Kayode, they speak from both of his mouths. He's out of government now. He needs to get money from the Igbo, and at the same time, he's getting money from the Fulani too. The Fulani knows that I'm speaking to you. That's why they want to arrest me if I come to Yoruba. But we are going to come home when Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. We're going to come home. So that's what they do. Marry their girls to destroy them. We're going to deal with Igbo women in Yoruba. Believe you me, we would dehumanize them the way you've been dehumanizing Yoruba. Man, you know, I spoke to the leaders of these 1 million boys. I'm trying to reorientate them. I said to them, it's not about money. Your jobs have been taken over. So you see our campaign that we just started. We've done the posters. We are not going to behave like our parent generation, carrying placards. Oh, we are saying in the face of hammer tank, in the face of AK-47. No. The day we go out to protest on the streets, believe me, it's going to be with the use of chemical and biological weapons. But recently, we are doing a campaign, Yoruba Jobs for Yoruba People. The poster are all over Lagos. The poster will be across all the cities, capitals in Yoruba land. We're going to take back our job. We are ready to go to war. Believe you me, we're preparing. The awareness is growing. We will deal with the situation. You can't suppress my nation. You can't occupy Yoruba land, and you expect this generation to behave like our stupid parent generation who did nothing when Igbo overrun us. That's what they do. They're using the intermarriages as an alliance to get into the seat of the leadership in Yoruba land. Number 4 strategy. They bribe our traditional leaders and politicians to have a foothold on them. Igbo were funding the office of Oni of Ife. That was why Oni of Ife made that ridiculous statement about Ajay. But he backed down. Igbo people are funding the office of Are Onakakanfo. And I've been very clear. It is not that Oni will go to the Igbo and say, I'm looking for money. It's not that Are Onakakanfo will go to the Igbo and say, I'm looking for money. No. Igbo try to give them whatever, even what they don't ask, so that they can have a foothold on them. We will deal with Igbo in Yoruba land. Are Onakakanfo cannot safeguard your interests in Yoruba land. We are even in a big disagreement with Are Onakakanfo because he seems not to understand the politics at play. He doesn't get the clue that personal interest is different from the national interest. It will be the biggest interest of the Yoruba nation to have a conservative and full-blooded Yoruba citizen as a president of Nigeria from 2023, and the candidate of the Yoruba nation is Tinubu. So we are asking Are Onakakanfo to think long and hard about this and forget about the personal misunderstanding they may have. We know that you Igbo are giving his office money. Don't think we don't know. You think he's going to protect you? I have said to Are Onakakanfo several times, the office of Are Onakakanfo is not recognized in a unitary system. All these other OPCs groups, New Era OPC, you know, some of them work with the APC government. APC government is in power. These New Era OPC are more powerful than the OPC of Are Onakakanfo. That is the truth. You cannot undermine a government that has been voted for by the people. Tinubu did not just become the leaders of the APC. The electorate in Yoruba land actually voted for that party. They are the one controlling the government in Lagos. They control the government in Ogun. They control the government in Osun. They control the government in Ondo. They control the government in Ekiti. They control the government in Kwara. They control the government in Kogi. They control the government in Edo, except Delta and Oyo State. The whole of Delta is not Yoruba land, so don't get me wrong and don't quote me wrong. Ishakiri is the area we're interested in Delta. Akoko Edo is the only area that is Yoruba in Edo State. 6 local government is the only place that is Yoruba in Kogi State. And 12 local government in Kwara is the only place that is Yoruba. This is the government in power. People voted for APC, yet you don't want to reckon with that reality. If your useless PDP party is that good, it should be the ruling party in Yoruba, but we don't like them because they are liberals. They are irresponsible. A number of their leaders are sleeping with Igbo women. That's why they don't think straight. A number of their members are actually Igbo people pretending to be Yoruba. So the 4th strategies the Igbo are using, they review these strategies every year. They bribe our traditional leaders and politicians in order to have a foothold on them. We're going to destroy evil. Believe you me, I have the confidence that we're going to do that. Be saying to people, only a stupid generals open too many war fronts. We decimate the Igbo. We're moving forward to take the presidency in 2023. We're not going to zone it. We're going to rule Nigeria as long as it remains a going concern. That is the same way the Caucasian in America rule the United States. It is the same way the English in the United Kingdom rule that country. That is what we're going to do. They have other ways to try and suppress the Yoruba nation. The horrible Igbo will tell you that they are going to destroy us in our own space. It is like the Yoruba in England saying that they are going to defeat English in England. How many are you? It is because of this unitary system. It is because of the hatred of the Igbo for the Yoruba nation. That is how they insult our elders. They write shit about Oni of Ife. You know how they disgrace Deji of Akure? You've forgotten about all of this. In all our statements, as a movement, I live in England. I'm always antagonizing the English establishment. I've never for once attacked the Queen of England because I know how respectable that office is. I have actually written to her when my friend were being killed in 2009. I wrote to complain about Yaradua killing the Ijaw people, and Gordon Brown used Iraqi weapons to Yaradua to kill the Ijaw people. I wrote to the Queen of England. She responded back to my letter and directed me to meet my MP and to meet the Secretary for Foreign Office, David Miliband or so. There. But I attack the English establishment every now and then and their governments, and we warn them. We have to respect their head of state because their people respect them. Igbo will come to Yoruba land and disparage our others. And these are the people, Yoruba women, you are hoping your legs for. People who hate your traditional leaders. People who hate your people. You want to have children with them. And you think that we are going to reckon with your stupid children that you are having with these criminals. We're not going to. You know, Igbo people, they teach their children from their birth to hate Yoruba. That's what they do. So I was surprised that they actually are so desperate to marry our women. They are so desperate. When that Emmanuel Chibuzo spoke yesterday about the pains of our campaign to stop Yoruba women from getting married to Igbo criminal men. So they are using Yoruba women to infiltrate into our leadership. So our solution is to shame these Yoruba women who sleeps or marry to Igbo men. Let me show you something first. I'll show you something. These people who teach their children hatred towards the Yoruba people, yet they want to marry our women. Don't you think this is political? You think it is because they love you? There are so many stupid Yoruba women. They say that, Igbo men, they know how to take care of women. Really? So how come their own women are divorcing them? Because this is what the statistics say. More Igbo women fight for divorce. Yoruba women don't fight for divorce. So that means there's something Yoruba men are doing. So don't fall for that propaganda of the Igbo, that they are the one that are taking care of women. That was what that criminal was saying, Emmanuel Chibuzo. That we Igbo, you know how they talk, shit people, people with no intelligence, people with no education. They say, we take care of our women. If you do, the research that came out on the 14th of May wouldn't have said to us that the Igbo have the highest rate of divorce among their women. And there's another thing, the highest rate of infidelity among married couples happen in Igbo land. Igbo women are prostituting even while they are married, but their husband cannot chase them out of the house because another research says that they are the head of the family because their men are useless. So if truly the Igbo men are romantic, they can take care of women, how come their own women are divorcing them? How come the people in South Africa are saying that they are raping their women and turning them into single mother? So we're warning Yoruba women, you get involved with Igbo men, believe you me, you will regret that decision for the rest of your life. Even if you change the name of your child to a Yoruba surname, many of them will be discovered. So, folks, I want you to look at this while we're saying this. There is an article that was written in 2007. That article is titled, "The True Reason Why Most Yoruba Women Have Smelly Pussy." Yeah. It was written by a guy named Emmanuel Blue. It has been published by Neraland Forum. You see, Neraland was founded by Yoruba people, but I think it has been hijacked by the Igbo. You know, NCNC, the political party that was founded by two Yoruba people, Olayinka Abat Macaulay and Obafemi Awolowo. They founded this political party in 1944. It was hijacked by the Igbo in 1949. So many things that we do, we allow these criminals to come into our space unregulated. This article was published on the 3rd of May 2017. The true reason why most Yoruba women have smelly pussy. I hope you read it. Now I'm going to read it out for you to see how they describe you, for you to see their state of mind, for you to know that these guys are going to be decimated in our space. We will shame Yoruba women who are involved with Igbo men, believe you me. And the guy goes around and says, Emeka Blue, that was his name on Nerel. And Nerel, that is a shit online things now because it's been taken over by Igbo. He said, "I've never in my life lived around a lot of Yoruba until I came back to the country about 6 months ago. I'm now located in a densely populated Yoruba community in Lagos known as Ikorodu." This is a man that obviously from that first paragraph, he must have traveled abroad. But the horrible idiot is living in Ikorodu, Yoruba land, not in his Umaya or Onitsha or Enugu. The horrible soul cannot live there because this place is a fucking shithole. But look at the way he describes our place that he's living. He went on and he writes, "Sometimes when I take a stroll to buy few things around, I normally sight a Yoruba girl from afar wearing like a mini skirt with her legs wide open. But getting closer, I get to see her wearing a long short, almost exceeding the skirt. I find this very unattractive, and you hardly find a Yoruba girl here wearing just panties. They are always on shorts, some even jeans short in whatever they wear, be it Ankara, normal skirt, trousers, or whatsoever." He goes on, "I made a mistake to take one to my house after convincing her by buying her things. I'm regretting now because ever since I stripped her and tried to first finger her," that's how he put it, "the stench from her pussy like a dead rotten fish hasn't made my dick to recover." This is a man, an immigrant, whose homeland is erosion ravaged, an Igbo common criminal, making this description about a Yoruba woman. He cannot even live in his own space. He comes to live in Ikorodu, Lagos. And he has that proudness in him to describe a people. He lives in their space in this derogatory manner. He goes on, I am very convinced because of the short. They don't give their pussy space to breathe. That's how I put it. Thereby allowing the bacteria under their sweaty panties they hardly wash like normal clean girls to germinate more and smell horribly. He goes on, please forgive my grammar. I'm just typing as I think of that rubbish smell which has been affecting anything I do lately. Folks, if you follow the comment section, you will see how these Igbo people describe Yoruba women. They describe Yoruba women as ugly, fat, smelly, horrible. It is like Yoruba describing English ladies like such. We live in their country. We come to do shit jobs in their country. And we describe them in such a manner. So this guy, Igbo people, right? They believe because of Nigeria that they have rights to live in Yoruba land. And we're going to show this that our generation will put a stop to Nigeria. We're not just only going to do that. We are going to chase them out of Yoruba land. If they refuse to go, they will return to their homeland in body bags. And this is what the king said, the king of Lagos said, but we have changed it. We will harvest you for transplant, believe you me. If you look at that, thank you so much, Vincent. Someone has just sent us the link to that article. Go and look at the comments from Igbo men and Igbo women. They describe Yoruba women as horrible women. They said that you are cheap. Somebody can easily sleep with you, dump you. Igbo criminals come into our space. They commit armed robbery. They commit kidnapping. They vandalize our space. They sell drugs. They kidnap women, rape them, use the proceeds of their crime to sleep with our women. We're going to shame Yoruba women having sexual relationship with Igbo men in Yoruba. Let me say this to the Yoruba women so that your brain can reset because you have acted very irresponsibly. Yesterday, I apologized on behalf of the Yoruba women that we've been very, very irresponsible because we failed to protect your interests. The ancestral homeland of the Igbo people is their Abia state, Enugu state, Anambra state, Ebonyi state, Imo state, and the Igbo area in Delta and River state. So to Yoruba women, any Igbo that is living in Yoruba land is inferior to you because it's an immigrant, it's a foreigner, and you must treat them as such. You must not stoop so low to open your legs for these criminally minded Igbo men. As long as they are not in their ancestral homeland of Abia State, Enugu State, Anambra State, Ebonyi State, Imo State, and the Igbo area of Delta and River State, all Igbos in Yoruba land are foreigners, and I want Yoruba women to treat them as such. So foreigners, we are also foreigners abroad. We treat the host nation with respect, with dignity, with decorum. So any Igbo man who approaches you, you must deny him sex. You must deny him your affection. You must deny him your love. They are foreigners in Yoruba land. Yoruba land is not their space. You must be proud of your homeland. You must be proud of your ancestors who make Yoruba land great to such an extent that these criminally minded Igbo are trooping into our space. One thing we are going to do as a movement, as a people, is that we will regulate the mass migration of the Igbo. So the ancestral home of the Igbo It's not Yoruba land. So any Igbo in Yoruba land must bow down for you when you speak. If they don't, you ask them to go back to their space. They will have to go. Igbo people do not belong to Yoruba land. Their homeland is Igbo land. Any Igbo citizen in Yoruba land is an immigrant, a foreigner. He comes to live and work in our land. He cannot be first-class citizen. He cannot be second-class citizen. He cannot be third-class citizen. He cannot even be 10th-class citizen. So you must look at them as who they are, immigrants, and they cannot have the same priority and privileges as Yoruba people. Any cheap and stupid Yoruba woman who marries an Igbo man in Yoruba land, you marry a foreigner. Igbo people have deep-seated hatred for the Yoruba people. And if you open your legs for somebody who has deep-seated hatred for your people, you are nothing but a prostitute. Before I go to how they describe us as Ofemanu, let me play an audio to you that I received today. And I think it is very imperative that you should have a listen into this before I go on to the next statement. I hope you enjoy this.
Everybody. Information but during this COVID-19 now, you really so most of the major places now voice hangouts won't see any business for now. So only pandemic just lots of people not to discover area they work with the to trace me okay man that they lost at the law. There's a basho be more way me now don't arrest me now. They will arrest anything too widely in that period. They were shocked. I mean, now you're about to now, me now, Jibu, me now, Sheba, Shaw, worry, Sheba, Shaw, Shebu, well, that's river, missing. Me now was not in any fucking jail. You know, I was lounging in a beautiful place. My gone my shy, my shoe, my fasiga, she got to back home. You know, but I was a Fulani move. Fulani who believe in one Nigeria. Fulani who believe in any fucking elections. The same thing, Igbo not the same thing. They don't believe in any fucking protocol. Protocol, in the face of in the face of our threat being under our civilization being under threat, you don't follow the rules. You don't follow the fucking rules. Nigeria should call them. Yeah. Well, obviously, Ugunuma Pari will pro Nigeria. Who are so obvious because both àwọn Igbo àti Fulani wọ́n ti wà so deluded pé nǹkan máa continue báyìí kò lè sí nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. In fact, àwọn Fulani ti believe pé forever Yorùbá ò ní ṣe pẹ́ẹ́m. I might go to war because subjugation yìí ó ti pọ̀ jù. Àwọn people yìí wọ́n ti monopolize almost every damn thing just because they have the power of the presidency. And when they just came again against 2023 because one effective Tinubu did position of power here. And now useless to Yoruba liberals not fellow láti fi denigrate Tinubu. Ayé àwọn liberals máa bàjẹ́, ó máa fọ́ká síbẹ̀ ni. Because one of yours pay, without organized violence and without us going to war, we cannot either clinch the presidency or get Odua Republic. Without organized violence, simply the presidency on Dekamato Emi Ori Tinubu, that presidency without some level of organized violence. Ṣé táwọn Fúlàní bá mọ̀ pé Yorùbá náà ti rẹ́dì láti para wọn láti dá ogun ẹ̀rú, wọn nìkan lè secure opposition presidency yẹn fún Tinubu. Else, wọ́n máa fọ́ play chess ni. Ṣé o? Dábọ̀.
Thank you guys for listening to that. Yeah, that's some of these things that are very important in these two voice notes that you've heard. One, the guy that was arrested for corruption in he was not in jail. He was put in a very beautiful place. He was enjoying himself. They are providing him with girlfriends. He was having sex with all manners of girls. What does that tell you? There's nothing like fucking one Nigeria. From the audio, we can deduce from it that Fulani people, they do not believe in one Nigeria. Fulani people do not believe in election, as well as the Igbo. They do not believe in one Nigeria. They do not believe in any fucking election. They both wish to continue to suppress and dominate the Yoruba nation. That is why Fulani will say to you that they are born to rule. Believe you me, Fulani has the confidence and the backing of the irresponsible English establishment. Believe you me. Fulani cannot produce ordinary hand grenade bomb. They cannot. They don't have the mental sophistication to do that. It is the English that are stealing your wealth. And I'm saying this to horrible liberal Yoruba who lives in England watching toilets, cleaning hospitals. All of you are doing health care workers that you are. Fulani don't believe in any shit. They want to continue to suppress you. Igbo don't believe in any fucking shit. They want to continue to come to Yoruba land, rape your women, sleep with them, impregnate your girls, do this intermarriage, destroy your civilization. My generation will kill a lot of people. We're at war. I don't think, you see the boldness with which we speak, the confidence with which we speak. We know the game, and we are prepared to play this game. What you don't know about our generation is this: God Almighty will spring up a generation that will always change the course of history. Am I as intelligent as Awolowo? No. Do I have the kind of wealth of Abiola and the connection of his friend? No. How come I have been bold to speak truth to power? God is involved. That is a shit if you don't know. God brings somebody that you least expected to change the course of history. We have already done enough as a movement. This guy with the voice note say, you don't follow the rules when the intention is to suppress and subjugate you. You do not. I said to the police who assaulted me in 2015 that you did that because I live in your country. That is the same way we're going to treat English in Lagos. Fuck them up big time. Then you will respect me if I'm in your space. Because the English in Yoruba land are helping the Fulani to suppress you. That is the truth. But stupid Yoruba government are still giving English businesses contract. People who are suppressing you. We said to them, go to Israeli businesses. Go to American businesses. You need to cut the friendship of these people. War is already at your front door. You need allies. You think English are going to help you? No. You don't follow the rule when the intention is to suppress and subjugate you. The guy you thought that is in prison is not in prison. This guy, they were looking for a place to go and drink. They discovered that that guy was not in prison. He was in a beautiful place enjoying himself. He's a Fulani man, but the horrible Yoruba Libra. Kill him, kill him, kill him. That is what they point at. Tinubu, it is you that you are going to be killed. Yoruba Libra, we know all of you. They are horrible. This guy said that it is war that will end everything. War will end Nigeria. How can I have a master's degree? I'm living shit life in London. Fulani with no education is in charge of my ports in Lagos. Fulani with no education is in charge of my customs across Yoruba land. Criminally minded Igbo are the one doing clearing and forwarding in my home ports. And I sit around in London getting older. My children will pass through the same shit process. I have a cousin whose father is English, mother Yoruba. She's living miserable life in England. When we have all the jobs in Yoruba land taken away from us by Fulani, Fulani has the backing of the English. Let this thing sink into your fucking brain. English will give Fulani weapon to kill you, Yoruba, to kill you, to destroy you. You need to go to America. If you don't get the support of the United States of America, you will never get anything. That is what this guy is saying. This is the same thing we have been saying. The Igbo believe that Nigeria will remain the way it is. The Igbo believe that they will continue to come to Yoruba land. The Igbo believe that they will continue to do crimes in Yoruba land and buy up our property, set up businesses, because they've been doing this since 1966. The Igbo believe that they will continue to sleep with Yoruba women, abuse them, dehumanize them, because it has been ongoing since 1966. The Igbo believe that they will continue to vote against Yoruba, to campaign against the Yoruba leadership, because it has been going on since 1966. We are going to kill them. This is a different generation. The Fulani, since the suspension of regional government, have been controlling the police in Yoruba land. The Fulani, since the suspension of regional government, have been controlling the military. They have been controlling our port. They have been controlling our prisons. They've been controlling everything in Yoruba land. All the taxes that we paid in Yoruba land, Fulani has been controlling it. They have been controlling it. These two people are so deluded in their brain that there's nothing the Yoruba nation can do. And we are going to start with the Yoruba Libra. Ayé ìyálà ya yín máa bàjẹ́, olórí burúkú èmi ọmọ onílé ọlọ́nà. My great grandfather was the Balogun of Remaland. My grandfather was a king. Èmi ọmọ onílé ọlọ́nà, police arrested me 8 times in London, put me in prison twice. Èmi ọmọ ọba, a máa pa ṣége sí Libra lára. Do I look like a common criminal to you? Me. Police beat the hell out of me in 2015. Fucking broke my eye socket, fractured my lower limbs. They put me in prison for fucking 5 months. Me, a prince, a potential king, because you Libra have played this dirty game for far too long. So that's why Igbo and Fulani are deluded that they will continue with this kind of system. We're going to kill these people. You will see. I don't know what has happened to Facebook. Folks, that's why I said to you. So they said they're having problems playing this. I told you they're going to shut us down. I don't know what is happening. So these people are deluded. Tell the people on Facebook to join YouTube. The Igbo and Fulani are deluded in their brain that you cannot do anything. So that's also why Yoruba Libra will say, oh, this thing has been going on for far too long. Nothing will be done. Right. But this generation will change the course of history. It will change. We need the power of the presidency to stop our women from being dehumanized. We need the power of presidency as Yoruba people to stop the mass migration of the Igbo into Yoruba. We need the power of the presidency as Yoruba people to stop the Fulani from controlling our wealth and resources in Yoruba land. If we do not get that power, we're going to kill Igbo and Hausa Fulani in Yoruba. That means we're going to go to war. People die in war. These two people are so deluded that they will continue to occupy our space, and no generation of Yoruba will ever challenge them. The Igbo and Fulani are already planning with the Yoruba Libra. I told you the strategies the Igbo are using: intermarriage. It is the Yoruba women that you are married to Igbo. They are the people that will first start killing you. Yeah, the Yoruba women that you are married to. Because we're going to wake up their state of mind. How can you troop into our space unregulated and we're asking you, stop? We don't want this. We don't have enough hospitals. We don't have enough schools. We don't have good roads. We don't have enough jobs. We're asking you, Igbo, go back to your space. Create your own Lagos. Create your own New York. Create your own London in your space. You continue to believe that you continue to come into our space, right? You will see. It is only organized violence that is going to end this nonsense. If we don't employ organized violence, we are not going to get the presidency in 2023. We will never get the regional government. They will continue to use us like playing cards, as this guy stated. That is what makes the Igbo people to call us Ofemano. They are deluded in their fucked up brain. You know, there's something they tried to do to me. They tried to assassinate me, to target the Yoruba youth. Oh, we've killed Adeyinka grandson. If you talk again, we're going to kill you. They failed. Then they started saying that we're going to get you deported. Me, that I'm the advocate of asking that the English national who lives in Yoruba land be expelled. The English have the right to ask me to leave their country. We Yoruba, we have the right to expel English from Yoruba land. English knows the game. They know where the wealth is. That fails. Look at what they did when the allegation of terrorism was made against me. The Igbo, in their usual propaganda, said that they are the people behind it, but they are not. They were not. It is this boldness that they have that Nigeria will remain a going concern, that Nigeria will continue under this horrible 36-state structure. That is why they come into our space and call us Ofema Anu. They said that our food is oily. But because these Igbo people don't go to school, they lack intelligence. They are horrible people. Their men are criminals. That is why they don't know that food, as a part of culture, tells a story about the people. They call us Ofemano because of palm oil, but they don't know that it's a story behind that. They don't know that food, as a part of culture, tells a story about a people because they lack the human capital. The Italian people make use of a lot of flour for their pasta. Why? It was in Rome that flour was first discovered, 6,000 years before Jesus Christ was born. So that is why you will see the Italians make use of flours a lot in their food. They brought that civilization to bear. Indian food uses a lot of sugar. If you have eaten Indian food, they use a lot of sugar. Why? Because they were the first people to process sugarcane into sugar. So food, as a part of a culture, tells stories about the people. But because Igbo are illiterate, horrible people, people with no culture, we have allowed these animals to troop into our space unregulated. That is why they don't know that the Yoruba people, we are the first people on this planet Earth to discover palm oil. We discovered palm oil before the birth of Jesus Christ. This is why we use a lot of palm oil in our food. But because they are horrible people whose homeland has been ravaged, they come into our space and call us Ofema Anu people. The stupid Emmanuel Chibuzo, in his live video yesterday, he was calling Yoruba people Ofema Anu. My generation will mess your life up. We're going to deal with you. Using palm oil for our food as Yoruba people is a thing of pride. You remember all of these things. The first television station in Africa was established in Yoruba land. The first Olympic stadium in Africa was established in Yoruba land. The first skyscraper in Africa was in Yoruba land. The first welfare state in Africa happens in Yoruba land. The first free healthcare in Africa happens in Yoruba land. We are the first people on this planet Earth that discover palm oil. We were brilliant enough to invent scientific process of extraction, filtration, separation, and refinement of palm oil in a large quantity. What does that tell you? Human capital, we have it. But we have allowed our parent generation, because they were exposed to Western education, they were taught about Christianity, they were taught about Islam, because they jettison our cultures, our norm and value system, and our Ifa religion. Our parent generation destroy our life. We have to now go to war, kill a lot of people, and save the civilization for our own children. We use our brain, our state of mind, to invent scientific process of extraction, of filtration, separation, and refinement of palm oil. That's why we have a lot of palm oil in our food. The Indians were the first to process sugarcane into sugar. That's why they use a lot of sugar in their food. The Italians were the first to discover flowers. That's why they use a lot of flowers in their food. Palm oil money from Yoruba land was what built the first civilization for Yoruba people. Look at that Odo Tofin Guyon. We conceived that before Jesus Christ was born. But today, we have allowed minority Fulani and the criminally minded Igbo to suppress, subjugate, dehumanize us as a people. We that could go to war with ourselves fought Kiriji War for 16 years. We have allowed mass migration of the Igbo. And these people, as palm robbers, as kidnappers, as 419s, as vandals, continue to kill Yoruba people, and we can stop this because we allow Igbo and Fulani to bring about unitary system. Let me quickly point your attention into something. I discussed this with my parents. And I said to them, when you were acquiring your education, it was your generation that first exposed to what we call Western education. It's just formal education, so to say. But when my parent generation were taken to school, they took from them the Yoruba religion of Ifa. They were introduced to Christianity. They read the Bible, which is a book of suppression, because the Bible supports slavery. So my parent generation were raised to see the English colonial thugs' actions as normal, because it was put in the Bible that was written by King James when he disagreed with the Roman Empire, to fool my parent generation. So because their own parent, did not look through their work paper when they were in school, So my parent generation became shit people, people who cannot defend their civilization. You know, you will not be able to defend your civilization when your religion has been taken away from you. Believe you me, religion matters. And I'll prove this to you. Here in England, the percentage of Indians is 5% of the total population of the United Kingdom. India is just a country. The percentage of Chinese in United Kingdom is also 5%. China is a country, not a continent. The percentage of black people, which is a conglomerate of different countries, both in Africa and in the Caribbean, the percentage of black people is only 4%. Indians, and I will now use Indian, Chinese, China, and Yoruba. India were colonized for 400 years. The Chinese were also colonized also by the English, because English colonized the Indians. English also colonized Yoruba. In this country, the Indians that are 5% of the total population of the UK, you will hardly see one Indian teenager who has been killed by knife crime. In this country, you will hardly see one Chinese teenager stabbed to death as a result of knife crime. But in this United Kingdom, for every 10 knife crime that has led to death of teenagers, 4 of these people are Yoruba kids. That is the truth. I've done the research. I'm speaking the truth. Now you ask yourself, this is what I was sharing with my parents some time ago. Why is it that the Indians, children, don't go into knife crime? Because the Indians are still Hindus. They still maintain their culture, traditions, and norms and value system. They were colonized by the English for 400 years. We were colonized for 100 years, 1851 to 1951. Why is it that their children are not being killed in England? Because Indians are still predominantly Hindus. Why is it that the Chinese children are not being killed on the street of England? Because they are still Buddhists. Why is it that Yoruba kids are dying on the street of England as a result of knife crime? Because we're Christians and Muslims. We're no longer Orisha adherents. Our culture, tradition, norms, and value system have been taken away from us. We're empty because of the education exposed to by our parents. That's why their generation is the most useless generation. My generation, your generation is not going to be the most ruthless because we're born into degradation. Your religion is very important. Why is China great today? They are not Christian. They still maintain that same culture of Buddhism. The Indians are still Hindus, but we Yoruba, we have lost touch with our religion because our parents were given Western education. They were taken from them, the Ifa religion. That is the truth. I probed my parents about this. I don't like their generation. They agree with me that they really messed up. That's why their generation, everything they do, let's pray. Common sense they don't have. They allow Igbo to suspend regional government. My parent generation will be having meetings. Ọmọ mi wà ní London. Ọmọ mi wà ní America. Wọn ò rí grandchildren wọn. So if you look long and hard about some of these things, this is why we got a lot of things wrong. Many people who have defended Yoruba nation, many people who are bold, fearless, always have the understanding of Ifa religion, which I do. And I started reading this because I saw when we go to church that they abuse my mom so much financially. They take a lot of money from her. I don't like the pastors when I was young. So that made me to want to think, why are they like this? And I say something. We will regulate Pentecostalism because it is destroying Yoruba land. It is the Pentecostal churches that are encouraging intermarriages. That is why our civilization is going down. Hausa Fulani have reduced intermarriages. We Yoruba, we have high rate of intermarriages. That's why our Yoruba women are irresponsible. That's why the Igbo can call us Ofemanu, yet we are the people, the first people on planet Earth to process palm kernel into palm oil. We were in the same league as the Indian who processed sugar cane into sugar, the Italian who discovered flowers. But these people still retain their own nationality. Italy is still there, Indian is still there, but we have lost our nation because our parent generation were exposed to Western education and they took the Ifa away from them. That is why we are struggling to even have ordinary regional government. We cannot get because our parents embraced Christianity and Islam. But the same generation of our parents in India retain their Hindus. The same generation of our parents in China retain their Buddhism. But our parents messed up our own Ifa religion. They messed up our brain. They messed up our life. But let me say something to you. This is the age of Aquarium, and this is the age of war. Things are going to be reshaped by bloodbaths. If you don't want the truth, you will continue to live in ignorance. So many things that the Igbo people are doing, we need to change it. The Igbo people lack the ingenuity to conceive any noble ideas. But because of their hatred for Yoruba nation, they call us Ofema Anu people. So to the Igbo nation, we use palm oil because we are the first people on this planet Earth to process palm oil. It is a good thing for the Yoruba nation. So you call us Ofema Anu again, we might have to kill you. Believe you me, we're not joking. I'm challenging you to try it. We will attack you. You have to go to your space to call us Ofema Anu. And I said something to you, you think it's a joke. You will pledge allegiance to Awolowo and all his successors before you, Igbo, can stay, live, and work in Yoruba land. You have pushed us to the wall and you're going to suffer these consequences. And I've told you, there's nothing Ariel Nagakanfu office can do for you. He can't protect your interests. Let me tell you, he supports PDP, but PDP is not in power right now. It is the APC government that is ruling in Yoruba. And they will win election again and again because they are pro-Yoruba. So Yoruba women married to Igbo men, you have married your haters. Marrying your haters is pathetic. It is pathetic. The Igbo nation is the number one enemy, the Yoruba nation. Yoruba women married to Igbo men, you are going to end up being used for rituals and you will end up in tears. You marry people who hate your people with such hatred. They even describe your own food as Ofema Anu people. And this is the kind of people you can resign your faith with. You know, so many marriages that have ended up. It's so painful most of the time. But I do not support divorce as an individual because it is the children that will be affected the most. But there are two major reasons why people have to go for divorce. Infidelity on the part of a woman, not on the part of a man, and where there is threat to life. Believe you me, you have to opt out. Where there is threat to life for women. Getting married to Igbo men is a threat to your life, a threat to the life of your children. On a personal experience level, I do not believe children should be taken away from a woman unless the children are exposed to clear and present danger. That was why I went to court last year, June, to make an application to take my children from my ex-wife because my son complains about the man that she was bringing home. He doesn't like the guy. And he said he doesn't want to go back home. He was reporting to his teacher at school. And I read the report and I filed to the court and said I want my kids. And my ex-wife and her new partner, with the support of their family, made an allegation of terrorism against me. When children's lives are in danger, when your own life is in danger, you have to leave. Believe me, you have to leave. So to the Yoruba women married to Igbo men, you have married your haters. And the life of your children are in danger. I said something about Libyans men who were married to English women. And the children were taken away from these women. The government of the United Kingdom stood up, pleaded with Gaddafi, and sought for his intervention. They got that because the Gaddafi was using that to negotiate. So the children were returned back to their parents. They were not in danger with their parents. They were in danger with their fathers. Kids were returned. If it is going to come to that on the part of the Yoruba women who are already married to Igbo men, we will protect your interests and take back your children from these evil Igbo men. But we're challenging your conscience. We want you to think long and hard about the future of your children. You cannot be sleeping with people who have deep-seated hatred for your people. You cannot be married to a man who has no respect for your family. You cannot be married to a man who just wants to have sex with you, have children with you, so that they can use those children for political gains in future to suppress Yoruba nation. You don't marry such people. They don't love you. They are using you. So I want to advise you, those of you who are Yoruba women, already married to Igbo men, if you live in Yoruba land, you cannot move these children to Igbo land anymore. You have to cease that relationship. Because Igbo men and Igbo people generally, they hate us, the Yoruba people. You don't hobnob with such people. Think about what I've said. Don't take these children to Igbo land anymore. You have made your mistake. We recognize that fact. But we are willing to help to protect your children. If you will think long and hard about what is good for these children, they have to remain in Yoruba land. You have to reorientate them. And they have to love Yoruba and think Yoruba first. But anyone else thinking about getting married to an Igbo man, you would jeopardize the future of your children. You will. We cannot be involved with Igbo who have deep-seated hatred for us. If you want us to play this game in a very wicked manner, believe you me, Igbo, you are going to face the same treatment that were meted to you in 1945 forward. You were killed. You were massacred in Awusa Fulani land. You've been killed. You've been massacred since 1945. It is because of your criminalities. That's why people don't like you. Why is it that in Ghana, you Igbo, you were the people that were attacked? Why is it that Nupe people were not attacked? Why is it that the Kanuri people were not attacked in Ghana? Why is it that the Yoruba people were not attacked in Ghana? But you Igbo, you were the people that were attacked in Ghana. You were the same people attacked in Togo. You were the same people being killed in South Africa. In China, you Igbo, you were the people attacked in China. There are Yoruba in China too. There are Nupe people in China. There are Kanuri people in China. There are Ijaw people in China. Why is it that it was you, the Igbo? The same thing in Singapore and Malaysia. It is because of your criminality. It is because of your criminal ways. But our attention is to the Yoruba women. Those of you who are already married to Igbo men, if your children live in Yoruba land, you must not take them back to Igbo land. Believe me, it's going to be a policy. You cannot take them back to Igbo land. You must change their state of mind. You must groom them to think Yoruba first. You know why they have to think Yoruba first? They are enjoying everything good in Yoruba land. They are not living in Igbo land. They go to school in our space. They are getting health care in Yoruba land. They are working in Yoruba land. So they have to think Yoruba first. Yemi Alade, she made all her wealth in Yoruba land, not in Igbo land. She has to think Yoruba first in all what she's doing. This guy, African giant, born a boy. His mom is Yoruba. He made it big in Yoruba land. You cannot afford to pretend because you are partly Igbo, partly Yoruba, I think. As long as you make it big in Yoruba land, you must think Yoruba first. So we're asking Yoruba women who are already married to Igbo men. We're not asking you to sever your marriages, but we're asking you to think long and hard about your marriage. You are involved with people who have deep-seated hatred for your people. There is no guarantee for your love. There's no guarantee for your peace of mind. There's no guarantee for your safety. We will accept you in Yoruba. But you must raise your children to think Yoruba first. But anyone has still indulging in marrying Igbo men, I assure you, believe you me, you will jeopardize the future of your children. You will have your children live in Igbo land where they are going to be discriminated against as outcasts. Everyone likes the Italian pasta. We like to use sugar. These were developed by the Indian. What sort of hatred will make a people to hate culinary delight? A people that can hate food. We enjoy pasta, Italian, made from flours. We use sugar, first conceived, first created by the Indians. Why will a people call us Ofemanu because of palm oil that we were the first people to conceive? A people that can hate food will hate you. So Yoruba women, sleeping with Igbo men, married to Igbo men, you are going to endanger your life and that of your children. If you can be married to a people who have deep-seated hatred for food, I don't think anybody will hate food. But these people, Igbo, they hate us. They are committed to destroy Yoruba land. A marital relationship with them quickly cease to be about love, but a political statement targeted at destroying Yoruba land. They just have children with you so that they can have half Yoruba, half Igbo children. So they can use these children to undermine our civilization. Because we know this, now I want to say this to Yoruba women. A government could come in power in Yoruba land and decided to inject all half Igbo, half Yoruba children. It's possible. Are you not the people saying that, oh, they are going to inject us from vaccine? The rate at which the Igbo hatred is growing against the Yoruba nation, if we break out of Nigeria, there might be possibility of developing a vaccine that we're going to use to inject half Igbo, half Yoruba children. So you have to think about your actions and decisions. Do you see Yoruba hating on Nupe people? Shango, who saved Yoruba land, was raised by a Nupe woman. Do you see Yoruba hating on Ibira people, Igala people? Do you see Yoruba hating on Ijo people? Are we hating on Kanuri people? Bagi people? Why is it Igbo? Why is it these people every now and then? They don't sit in their space. They come into our space unregulated, they do crimes, and they don't vote for our political interests. They rejected Awolowo, call him a tribalist. They rejected Abiola, they call him an Islamist. They rejected Olufalaye, they said he's a militarist. They are now calling Tinubu corrupt. Why is it is only these people every time? We're going to decimate them. There's no solution other than that. So I want Yoruba women to think about this. You open your legs for these people, you destroy the future prospects of your children. You open your leg, you destroy your children's life. So while we round up today, we'll continue tomorrow for our day 3. I appreciate Yoruba women who will help to spread this message. We have to do this because of the deliberate intention of the Igbo nation to destroy Yoruba nation. And the only way they are using, the major way rather, is to continue to have unrestricted access to our Yoruba women. If you want to destroy society, you destroy the women. So we will not allow that to go on. So thank you very much, everybody. And I want to say to the Yoruba women who have shown concern, who are already married to Igbo men, you have to think about your relationship with these people. It is pathetic for you to be married to a man who hates your people. Don't let anybody pretend to you about love. I have seen my parents in their marriage for well over 50 years. I've seen them go through ups and downs. My mom doesn't even stay with my father for more than 3, 4, 5 days. She lives with our children. If not for this coronavirus, perhaps she would have been in Canada or America or come to London. But my father doesn't have such a luxury. What am I saying? When they found themselves, we were young, there was so much love, but they have a lot of their own differences too. But they're able to manage it perhaps because they are Yoruba people. They are Yoruba people, they have a lot of stress in their marriages when they were young, and in this their old age, it is my father that is still just on his own. My mom just goes everywhere. But what I want you to learn from this is this. The Igbo people have deep-seated hatred for Yoruba. Getting married to an Igbo man is like you are marrying your enemy. So you are so stupid, Yoruba women. You think that because you then marry him, then everything is smooth between Yoruba and Igbo. Why is it that blacks who have been married to white in America, things have not settled between the two? Don't you know that the English and Scottish have been married to each other for years, yet they went to war for 300 years. In 2020, they are still fighting each other, abusing each other. Scotland is saying that they want to get out of the union because they don't want to even hear about the English. You can marry your haters. You can marry people who hate you. We have to sever this marital relationship with the Igbo. But if you think what we are saying is, is a joke, you will jeopardize the future of your children. The hatred that the Igbo nation has for the Yoruba nation is long and deep. But one thing that I want you to know is this. They hate us so much, they want to live in our space. They hate us so much, they want to have sex with our women. They hate us so much, they want to father children with our women. So you must know one thing. They hate us. They want to suppress us. They want to dominate us. And they see intermarriage as a means to suppress us. So we are not stopping that. And to the Yoruba women who would think that this is a joke, by the time your children cannot go to school, you will know it is not a joke. By the time your children comes home crying that they are not being accepted at school, at work, you will know that this is not a joke. It is all about Igbo people. Their own culture They are uncivilized. They are a terrible set of human beings. They live in our space. Every 4 years, they go and vote for Fulani. We want to be president of Nigeria. And these people are coming to live in Yoruba land. We don't troop into their space. Election time, they will say to our face that they will not vote for us. And you want to be sleeping with our women, right? You want to have children with them. We will deal with this situation. All Igbo children, fathered by Yoruba, raised by Yoruba mother, will remain in Yoruba. Will remain on the condition that they will not step an inch in Igbo land. You think we won't be able to do this? We mean this game for you. So, folks, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Cheers.